welcome. I think I can see Oyin, I can see Pelumi. Chika Obioma says yes, sir. I can see Pelumi, I can see Mr. Enoch, I can see Aro, I can see Ogudare Shegun and Chika. Okay, you're welcome this evening. You're welcome. And I would say this while we start proper. Um, I want us to just take it as simple as it is. Whatever aspect of design you are into. In fact, you might be surprised that fashion designers are joining us tonight. Interior designers self, they are joining us tonight because the aspect of color is not something that is just limited to the visual designers alone, the graphic designers and those people we think they only deal with designs. Is actually in all sphere of designs. And we'll be learning a lot today. I can assure you will be it will shape our perspective of how and what really design and color is, in fact, in our everyday life. And let me just choke this before we start proper. Many of us have interacted with color today. You cannot escape it every day. Wherever you are, as long as you can open your eyes and you can see, you have interacted with color today. The clothes you are putting on right now can have some element of color in it, right? The pen you are using, whether blue, black, red, whatever color it is, you have interacted with color today. In fact, nature itself is colorful. I don't know if you agree with me. So it's very, very important how we actually put this into the design perspective and how color shapes our decisions and emotions. All right, I will share my screen shortly now, and I want us to confirm if we can see it. Um, mm, 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 mm. I don't know. Can you see my screen? I want to be sure. Okay, just hold on a moment. Um, you can you see a screen showing psychology of color in design? I want to know if it's the exact screen you can see. Okay, I don't think so. Okay, okay. You just hold on a moment. Um, okay. Please, can you see my screen? To be sure we can see my screen. Please, can we see my screen? To know if you can see my screen. Okay, okay. All right, all right. Thank you for admitting to that. All right. Okay. So we are starting today psychology of color in design and how color influence emotions, perception and choices. Perception and choices in what you are going to use the color to do, what you perceive might be the best color to do to use in design. Like I said, if you are a fashion designer, if you are even an interior designer, if you're a visual designer, and whatever aspect of design you are into, we are both learning today how color can actually influence your perception and choices, and how color can actually influence your emotion. Yesterday evening, I approached someone, a lady particularly. She wore, I don't know if I can say to match. I don't know if you understand what that means. So her headgear is matching with her skirt, is matching with the color of her nails. Okay, so that just gave me a perspective to just approach that. And I was asking, oh, why do you thought about this before, or why do you dress in this certain way? Somebody that is a bit close to me, so I can ask those questions. And she just felt that's the best thing to just use, and she felt very okay with it. Just felt okay. Um, she can actually go into that and actually use that coming. Okay, okay. Sorry, just a minute. Um, okay, all right. So, as I said, I'll be your host for tonight, and my name is Samuel Adeyeye. I'm just your normal visual designer. Okay. Um, there are designers here already, and I would love us to also learn from one or two things together. Okay. All right. So, what we'll be dealing with today is what is color psychology, meaning of key colors. There are some colors you actually come across every day. You cannot but come across them every day. There are some colors like that. We'll be dealing with them today, tonight. So, how to actually apply colors in design. There are tools, there are tips, there are examples. Then we go to the Q&A section. And if we have any other business to actually discuss, we will go into that. Okay. All right. So let's proceed. So why does color psychology actually matters? Why do we talk about color psychology? Please, can you still hear me? Please, can you still hear me? I want to be sure we can still hear me. So I'm having some feedback here. Okay, thank you, Mr. Pelumi. Said yes. Okay, thank you so much. All right. So along the line, if you have a question, just raise your hand while I permit you to speak. All right. So why the color psychology matters? There are three things I listed here. I will just be taking them one after the other. Okay. Every aspect of your color, every aspect of the color you see, have the emotional part of them. Have what those color command, have what they actually respect. So there's emotional impact of designs that color psychology brings in a design. There is always emotional impact. That's why I don't know. I think we have more guys here. How many of you? I know everybody has different perspective, but I love to ask: how many of you love to wear a green hoodie? A green hoodie. Can I see your comment in the chat box? How many of you love to wear a green hoodie? Out of all colors, you just prefer to wear a green hoodie. Like I said, it's going to be a very interactive section, so I would love us to actually respond. Who were Joshua, Lulu, Arebi, Eniola? Okay, somebody says no. All right, who else? Who else? Among the guys now, how many of you actually prefer to wear a green hoodie? Now you love to wear a green hoodie. I'm not sure how many of you. Okay, the global union. Are you raising up your hand? Okay. Are you saying you love to wear a green hoodie? The global union.
Yes, so I was saying good evening, everyone. I was saying yes. I was raising my hand as a show of yes. I would definitely
Okay.
love to wear a green hoodie.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think before you joined the call, I was asking the men actually, the guys here, if a guy would actually love to wear a green hoodie, and I saw just a response. I would love a confirmation also, so that we proceed very very fast. So somebody said no, you wouldn't want to wear a green hoodie, but a female says yes, right? Okay, guys, are we on this call? One more person while we move. Somebody said never. No. Now we we are seeing how colors can actually affect the emotional part of design goes a long way when we are talking about color. So there's also the next point here is first impression and user behavior. When you get to a store, you want to pick a dress or you want to pick a dress to wear. The first color you are seeing, be like, "Ah, no, I don't want this. Can we? You even be asking the person, can I get another color? That's because color psychology matters. And the way you kind of behave when you are wearing some certain clothes, or let me put in the aspect of design now, the way you behave, the way you kind of respond to a design actually shows a lot. It's very, very important. For instance, if you are seeing a red color, most people, we are still going to get there. Most people term it as something that is danger, or maybe there is an aspect of the generator that we normally use, and you are seeing a short poster there saying that do not touch. This place is hot. You know, if you are seeing it in another color, you might not really put interest in it. It might not really give you that kind of behavior. All right. And like, okay, are these people even serious about it because of the kind of color that was used? Okay, the next one is brand statistics. This is much more in depth because color can increase your brand recognition up to 80%. We used to say something about the green app. At least everybody on this call uses the green app maybe every day. I would love to say that. I don't like to generalize, but I love to say we use the green app. Why do we call it the green app? We have studied the part that okay, whenever we see green, in fact, when you see somebody's phone from behind, and maybe you are like 2 seats away, and you see the person scrolling, you can tell that this is the app the person is using. You can tell that this is WhatsApp because you are familiar with the color that is the green app. So you are able to recognize very very fast. In fact, very very fast. Not only because you are familiar with it, but because um the psychology of colors actually matters a lot. All right. So what is color psychology? I've been talking about the word psychology. In fact, so I'm going to just take a definition from Google, and I will, of course, I have my definition here. So Google tells us that is a way in which color affects or influence our behavior and emotions. I've explained this before. It's a way in which color affects you. In fact, affects your decisions, your emotions, and your behavior. So when I'm talking about emotions, it has to do with you. When I'm talking about cultural interpretation, as designers, let me put it that way, whatever aspect of design you are even into, you need to also understand how some certain cultures, how they are influenced by color. For instance, if you go online and check Africa, maybe we should even just do that right now. And then we check African, let me say African states. African states. Okay. African states. Now, See the kind of colors. Let me just go to images. So, all right, this is even giving us map. Let me narrow the search a bit and say African cultural states. Okay. Now, see the kind of images is bringing. See the kind of colors we are seeing. We are seeing brown, we are seeing blue, some yellow, some dark brown, some black. Now, this tells you a lot about color psychology. All right, there are cultural interpretations to it. In the African perspective, you see this dominance of color in this. I don't know if you can see what I'm saying also. Now you see this dominant of this color psychology in the African state, which tells you that color can be linked to cultural interpretation, can also be linked to perception. What is generally perceived to be accepted. Color psychology also plays a role. And also, just a moment. All right, yeah, welcome Emma Graphics. I don't know if I spelled that right. So, color can also be linked to different fields. Yes, we have fields of engineering, fields of fashion, fields of banking and finance. We are going to even make a lot of talk about that this evening. Banking and finance, and a lot of fields like that. And we are going to be seeing how color actually affect them. So my definition is how humans just respond to color. So if you are just joining this call, I already said earlier that let's just take this simple. Don't take color as something too difficult, because if you excuse me, if you take it too difficult, you might not really understand what color psychology actually means. So how humans respond to color. When you see this particular color, what does it tells on you? Your emotions, your perceptions, your decision self. How does it affect you? And we'll be narrowing that actually to design. All right, so I will start by introducing us to primary colors. Yes, primary colors. And for those just hearing this for the first time, even those you know about this before, please just have a way of listening, because it is very important why these brands here chose this kind of colors, why they actually went with this kind of colors. Now, I was saying that with different fields now, color psychology matters is very important, right? Okay. All right. So the three, four primary colors that we know has been existing is red, blue, and yellow. Red, blue, and yellow. And in fact, with the combination of these colors alone, we can get more colors. So if you are writing, it's a very good one. If you are jotting down, it's a very good one. You can't find everything on the slide. Anyways, red and yellow, we actually give orange. Red and yellow color, their mixture will give orange. While red and blue, we give purple. Yes. And yellow and blue, we actually give us green. Yellow and blue will give us green. Very soon we'll go to the color wheel and check some number of few things how we can actually use these colors. All right. So now let's talk about the emotions of red. Red, for some of you that have interacted with red today, let me ask in the comment section, how many of us have interacted with the color red today? Let me know, or you can unmute yourself if you can remember during the day today you have interacted with a red color, like you saw it as a poster, as a danger, energy, passion, strength. Some of you have taken coke today. So if you have interacted with red color, let me see your response in the chat box. Let me see your response in the chat box to be ensured that we're actually following together. So nobody has interacted with red. So what about blue? if you have interacted with blue today. I wore a blue to church. Okay, one person recognized. I wore a blue to church. Red. Okay. Yellow. How many of us have interacted with yellow today? So nobody has interacted with yellow today. That's a lie. The sun shined today, at least for some time. Probably from anywhere you are in the world. My pastor wore blue suit today. Can you imagine? Yes, thank you, Mr. Fowe. Okay, so let's proceed. So there is a perspective of these colors on you. So red signifies, now it's not only limited to what I have put down here. Okay, they actually in numerous things that emotions that these colors brings. Okay, they're actually a lot. There is an advanced color wheel that tells this. Let me go back to the previous slide. Okay, I didn't put it here. Okay. Um okay, so red signifies danger, energy, passion, strength. In fact, emotion. You can be, let me start from emotion. Red is emotional. For instance, the blood that flows in your vein. Whenever you see blood, some people cannot kill fowl here. I won't mention names because I know some people, but because of the blood, that's just the reason why they cannot slaughter a fowl. Okay, they are emotional with the color. That's how color can actually influence you. Assuming it's white blood that runs in our veins now, fine. You see people, they can it actually kill a lot very, very fast. Okay, so one thing that is very, very important is danger. Traffic lights tells us red, yellow, and what's the other one? Green. Yes, red, yellow, and green. Red is giving you a direct information. Stop. In fact, red can signify energy. All right, and the brand, very popular brand that actually use red. We I signify here that we have Coca-Cola, we have YouTube, Coca-Cola, YouTube. One thing that is in your mind whenever you want to buy Coke is that you want to see a red color because you have been familiar with it, right? And YouTube, if YouTube today suddenly change their color to green, we have an emotional impact on you, whether you like it or not. That's just so. Blue, I'll be speeding up now. Blue is a very popular color, especially in the tech world. Most of you here that you are designers, in fact, the masculine parts actually love blue. Like someone actually said now, he said, his pastor wore blue to church today. Why would the pastor choose to wear a blue? Right? Now, blue signifies stability, trust. In fact, blue can tell you something is sad and calm. For instance, when you are, we don't, I don't like to say that, but for some of you that are living in areas that are close to deep waters, I mean sea, oceans. Now, those waters are actually blue, and more sometimes they can be very calm. Yes, I'm not talking about swimming pool water, something that is very natural. And blue is the perfect answer. Sometimes when you look up to the sky, you see something that is very calm. And in the tech world now, in the banking and finance, stability and trust. Okay, stability and trust is very important. First Bank uses a shade of blue, right? Very soon we'll be talking about what shade means, what tint means, and the rest of them. So Facebook, Dell, LinkedIn, also healthcare. Yes, I put here just Facebook and healthcare. The NHS is a national health, I think, society in the UK that is the overall public health in the UK, and is blue. Is blue all through. Okay, Facebook that we all know uses blue. They want you to trust them. These colors have emotions on you. It's not as if they use black, it will not. But you are so friendly with the UI of the page because it's blue. I don't know if you get my point very well. So let's proceed to yellow. Yellow, happiness, warmth, attention. So You can take note of this color because when we are about to use them now, in fact, in the next coming slides now, when we check some things out, you will know, okay, why are you even using yellow? It signifies happiness, warmth, and attention. That's what I'm saying. Everybody has interacted with yellow today. The sunshine itself is giving a form of yellow color. All right, unless you didn't come under the sun today. Yeah, and most times, why do you think you love to even take pictures in the sun? Because you love that glow and it gives you a form of happiness, right? So some of the firms that use this is Snapchat and McDonald's. Yes, McDonald's. They I think one of their vision is that to have each center, I think then in the United States, in each of the cities. Yes, and they are very fast in delivering their services. And when they are doing that, they do that with happiness. Have you ever seen their staff? So they are following all of these things with their vision and mission. I don't know if you get me very well. Okay, let's proceed. So the secondary colors, they are green, they are purple, and they are orange. Those are the secondary colors. You know, I said the other time that red and yellow will give us orange. Sorry, just a minute. Red and yellow will give us orange. Red and blue will give us purple. And yellow and blue will give us green. That gives us secondary colors. Though we have a form of tertiary colors. And tertiary colors is as a result of both primary and secondary colors. Okay? The aspect of tertiary colors is formed from primary and secondary colors. Then we now have some colors like red, orange. I don't know if you have seen that before. We have some colors like peach, some colors like violet. They don't stand alone. There is a combination of much more of primary and tertiary colors. So green signifies growth. Your plant, most at least, if not 90% of all plants have green leaves, and they all vary in their level of saturation, right? They all vary in their level of shade and tint. So health and wellness, nature itself is green. If you have ever been to a garden before and you can see the work of the gardener, how he arranged those flowers. In fact, that's one of the inspiration of design when you go to nature. All right. Whether you are even a fashion designer, it does not matter now. When you go to nature and you see what God Himself has created, in fact, inside your deep fruits, I shared something on my status um some days ago and some weeks ago. This avocado pear has green in it. If you have eaten pear before, some level of it is green. Let's see if we can check that out. So it's not be as if uh, we are just mentioning some things. All right, yeah, welcome, Ibukunlu Ajeje. Okay, let me go to avocado. I hope I got the name here. Something. Mm, okay. Yeah, this I don't know if you can see my screen very well. So this is nature. All right. If let me just bring one out. If we can see this very, very, very well. Please, can you see what I'm saying? I want our response. If you can see what I'm saying on the screen. All right, it's all visible. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so look at this pair now. Okay. There's a color inside. There's a color in the border also. This just this can inspire you to make a good design from nature. All right, this can inspire you to actually make a very good design in nature. And we'll be checking some designs from some firms in the coming slides now. And Looking at this, for those that eat this anyways, wouldn't you even love to have a bite of this? I mean, I don't like pear personally before, but when I tasted, I was obliged to do that. I I had a taste, then I will not stop eating it. Okay. So, and seeing what I see now, so color, nature actually influences your design, and one of the best gets for your inspiration is nature. So one of the firms that use green, we can see Spotify in the music world, they use green. Okay, so purple signifies, even if you don't know anything about purple, it signifies luxury and royalty. Check anywhere, that's purple's track record. Let me put it that way. That's purple for you. Whenever you see a purple scarlet, I think that's the right word. Whenever you see a purple scarlet, it's very, very expensive. It's luxury, it's royalty. All right. So we see some food brand use it. Cadbury, um, Pampe. Those of you that use Pampe, I'm not advertising them because they are not paying me, but Pampe uses purple, very straight purple. So orange. Now, this is a very, very unique color. It tells you about fun, fresh, and friendliness. Whenever you see orange color in the wall, that is marked as a form of design. In fact, in a very cool and calm place, you are more friendly with it. I don't want to generalize this, but I want to be sure that what I'm saying we can attest to it. So just give me a thumbs up or to ensure that we are following. Can you attest to orange being fun and something you can associate friendly with? Please, can you all hear me? Hello? Just give an emoji if you can attest to that. So yellow tells you that um fresh. Oh, thank you so much. I didn't do fun, fresh, friendliness, and food brands. In fact, if you don't remember anything in this class, just know most food brands uses uses orange. I just specify Ovaltine. Some people like Fanta because of that color. Some people like pop or fruit because of that form of orange color, yellowish orange, red orange color. That's why they actually love it. All right. We used to sing the song "Yellow Like Fanta," but you obviously know Fanta is not yellow, right? So you see how we are misplacing some priorities now. So you are most likely to associate very well and be friends with orange. Yes, orange gives you that form of friendliness. And okay, so I noticed here some of you might be asking a question that what about white, black, brown, gray? Are they not also colors? Well, some people regard them as colors. But if you are a designer here, a visual designer here, I would like to point your attention to this. You have the right to um to argue that with me, but I would just like to tell you that most especially white and black. Yes, they look like colors, but they are called neutral colors. They are not specifically termed as colors. All right, you see something that is white, something that is black. Gray is a shade of white or black. It's a shade of black actually. So it's a tint of white. All right, gray is a tint of white, and black. In fact, brown colors, brown. They are neutral. You cannot all tell that this is where they are going. All right. So just take them as neutral colors, and they also indicate something. So white color indicates cleanliness. Know that gray and black indicates neutrality, power, or elegance. All right. So when you see black, you see that it's telling you about power or elegance. For instance, what's the name of this drink? Is it a Monster drink or so? This Monster Energy drink. People love to take that thing also because of the color. All right. And just take note, white and black. But if we do a design now on white and black and you send it somewhere like, this thing does not have colors. All right. Okay. If you have an objection to that, you can raise up your hand and let me know. So what do we know as color harmony? And this is where we're actually starting up now. So color harmony just tells you how you use your colors. Okay. Color harmony tell you how you use your colors. And in the aspect of color harmony, we have three basic um, terminologies. We have int, tint, and shade. All right, so I want you to listen very well attentively. Now, another name for color is called hue, H-U-E. Hue is another name for color. So when I begin to interchange hue, know that I'm talking about color. Okay? So, tint. What is tint? Tint tells you how light a color is when white is added to it. When white is added to it. Let me make a very quick demonstration so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me share my screen again. Hallelujah. Our God reigns. All right, so can you see my screen now? I don't know if you can see my screen. So the software I'm using here is just Photoshop. So I'm going to take and make a demonstration for you so that you can see. So let me just take I think we have the blue guys here already winning. So let me just take blue for instance. Okay, so I'm explaining tint. I want to talk about tint now. We can all see this color, right? Okay, all right. So we can now see this color. And when I try to duplicate now and sorry, excuse me, and I reduce the saturation of this. So we can even see here in this design software, for some of you that use some design software, HSB tells you about hue, saturation, and brightness. Okay, that's what they all stand for. Now, if I reduce the saturation now, it's telling you that I'm adding um more white to it. Okay, and this is a tint of this color. Okay, now you can see the one I produced now. This is a tint, the one I'm shaking now of this, because I've added white to it. Now, okay, just a minute. Let me admit this person. So that's a tint of the color. Now let's go to shade. For those of you taking notes, so shade sorry, excuse me. Shade is actually a dark version of the color you are picking. So when you're adding black to a color, it's called shade. All right. So this same color, okay, let me just do it in a way in which um, we can see very, very well. All right. Okay. Um, okay. So I'm taking the shade of this exact same blue color. All right. And let me just try to make it more darker. That's just it. It's still the same blue color, but we have shade, we have tint. Okay, so this is just it. Hue, this is like the hue. Then we have a tint, and we have shade. Okay. Hmm. It's taking time to respond. Okay, so we have hue, which is this, and so this is tint, and over here we have shade. Okay, all right. Are we following? Are we following? Are we following? I hope it's not confusing. All right, thank you, Rabbi Eniola. Hope it's not confusing. So hue, tint, and shade. That's just some of the basic terminologies that we have here. Okay, so mm, mm, mm. Okay, so let's proceed. We'll having the color harmony now. So there's a color formula. So we have um monochromatic, analogous, complementary, and triadic. Please, I want us to listen very well at this point because we'll be taking note of and be using this color wheel to actually check some things and how we can build color palettes and see the kind of colors that match each other. All right. So it's not just enough for you to just know, okay, this is the color, this is the color. Do you even know a complementary color? Do you know an analogous color? Do you know a triadic color that blends with this when you are making a design? All right. So monochromatic in the color form is just very simple. Mono is telling you that is the use of a single color, just like we did the other time. We only use blue. We only use blue as our monochromatic. We only use blue color, and with that we can create some shades of that. All right, by using blue color. Now, analogous. I'll still describe this, but let me just take you one at a time. Analogous color formula or color scheme. It uses color schemes that are next to each other on the wheel. How do I mean? Um, eh? Please, can you see my arrow on the screen? I want to be sure we can see that. Can you see my arrow on this screen? So when I begin to demonstrate, okay, thank you, Emma Graphics. Thank you for acknowledging that. All right, so colors that are next to each other. For instance, if I'm taking this green now and I'm coming downwards, let me just pick three. Now we have green, we have blue. All right, so this is a form of analogous color. Or I come to this aspect now. We have orange, we have a shade of orange, we have a tint of orange because it's more lighter now. So I begin to use those terminologies. So follow me properly. Now this is red. We have also tints of red. All right. So when I pick this, and this color, let me say just these three: one, two, and three. For instance, they are analogous to each other. They are next to each other in the color wheel. All right. So complementary colors are colors that are opposite each other. For instance, if I pick blue and red, can you see this blue and red? Blue here and red, they are opposite each other. If I pick purple and this is more like yellow green, or let's just put it as yellow together now, they are opposite each other. They actually work together. Okay. Now triadic, this is very simple. Triadic is triangle. Don't worry, we'll get to demonstration next now. So triadic are triangular colors that you can pick the color in a form of a triangle. For instance, if I'm picking this yellowish green color and we have blue and we have a tint of red here. So these ones, they can be triadic. I can use the three together in a design. This forming a pattern of triangle. All right. There's also split complementary, but I won't go that. So let's just understand these four basic. All right. So when we talk about using these colors, there are actually some tools that can help us do this faster, which is building color palettes. And I'll be going there right now. So the two websites you can actually use to build color palette, they are color.adobe.com and colors.co. Colors.adobe.com and colors.co. So let's just go to one of them. Color.adobe, anyone.com. Okay. So mm, so you can see here now we are in color.adobe.com. All right. Designers, please pay more attention now at this point. This has actually simplified what I'm trying to explain. On my left here, somebody is trying to join in. Just a minute. Okay. Choo 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 choo. Okay, please can you Toluwanimi Ayola. Yes, you can speak.
Yes, you're not sharing the tab.
Okay, I'm not
The
sure if you have. Okay.
yes.
Thank you, sir. Let me take a look at it now. I thought as much that it's probably not showing. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for pointing my attention. So, colors.adobe.com. So, we have the color wheel. Now, on my left hand side, now we have different color formats. All right, we have the analogous, monochromatic, triad, complementary. I've explained these four. We have split complementary, we have square, we have compound, we have shade, we have custom. Okay, so moving on, let me start with monochromatic. Now, this has just simplified what I was trying to explain. You can pick a color now for a design, and this will generate color palette for you. By my right here, this is the color palette. Okay, and let me just see. I can pick another color. Okay, can we see how this works now? Now, don't forget this monochromatic. It will give you the tint and the shade. All right. Now, this is the main color here. This color in the middle. All right. So the tint now is giving you a lighter version of the color, a darker version of the color, and you can as well copy now. This ash where you are seeing ash and some numbers is called Xcode. You can find it on every design software. It's called Xcode. Xcode tells you it's just like a color criteria. Okay, we can identify color also by their numbers. Okay, so for instance, now if I want to tell you to use white and I don't want to speak to you in plain English, I can say use FFFFF. S code are always 6 in numbers, all right? So I can tell you to use FFFFF. I know I'm talking about white. And if you use 0 all through, you're talking about black. Okay? So we have Xcode, and monochromatic allows you to pick one color and gives you this automatically generates color palette for you to use. Then you can now adjust them later on. Okay? Now, please follow me. I think the next one I speak on was sorry, just a moment. The next one I speak on, the next one I talked about um that should be monochromatic. That should be analogous, okay? And I tell you, analogous are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. This is also a color wheel, okay? It's just that they have splitted it in this dimension, all right? So looking at it now, okay, I can zoom in. All right, so this part of the wheel takes 1, 2, 3, 4 colors that are next to each other, and it generates a color palette for you here. A very 6 color palette that you can use in your design. So sometimes you might be finding it difficult. Okay, now you have picked the design, you don't know what kind of colors you can attach to it. This just gives you the ability to do so. All right. So triadic, I told you it's forming like a triangle. All right. So when they pick this green and they pick this lighter purple. Okay. They pick this what color is this? It's looking like a dark peach or whatever it is. So and they pick green and purple, and this generates a color palette for you automatically. Okay, how you can also use them in design. And for those of you starting out in design, I would recommend to use nothing more than 3 colors in your design. All right, so your primary form of color first can carry 60%, your secondary colors can carry 30%, and your the other miscellaneous can carry just 10% of it. That's making 100, right? So if you are starting out, please just stick to at least 3 colors. That means triadic can be your friend. Okay, triadic can be your friend. um you just hold on, just give me a minute. So triadic can be your friend, and we'll demonstrate this now. Now let's go to complementary. I said the other time that complementaries are colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. Sorry, just a moment. Okay, I'm back. So complementary colors are colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. As you can see here, you see that this shows us colors that are opposite each other, and we see perfectly. Okay, so that's complementary colors, colors that are opposite each other. And okay, so that's the 4 we talked about. We have split complementary, we have square. It's very easy. It's just taking colors that in a square format, just like triadic in a triangular format. Then we have compound, shades. Now I talked about shade the other time. Okay, And we see that shade is just a very singular color here. And from that single color, they give us the dark version and different saturation levels, just as I did with telling us about hue, tint, and shade the other time. Okay? All right. So it's very important that we note that. All right. The next color palette that we can also use, okay, can see my screen, is colors.co. All right. Colors.co. COOLORS. So it's not your normal, it's having double zero as colors. Colors.co. And I mean, I don't know why they keep giving us cookies. Okay, so you can generate palettes from this. Let's start the generator now and see how we can actually come up with let's go. Okay, all right, so this has even given us a lot of things. Okay. And one thing that is very important that I find out in colors is that colors can give you contrast. All right, there's what we call color contrast. I'm going to go to that in a very short time. Color contrast tells you how you place your colors on top of each other. Some colors are lightly colored, some colors are dark colored. All right, so it will be wrong for you as a designer to be placing a dark on a dark color. The visibility will be very, very poor and very, very bad. Okay. Now see this now, view shades. This will give you every shade of the color just in a single color palette. In fact, this is giving us close to about, if not 20 shades. Okay. And let's check contrast. Now, this, are you with me? I hope I'm not too fast. Please, are you with me? I want our response. It's good to just do this time and time to be sure that we are together. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so this tells you that in this color, a black text is much okay. A white text will give you a bad contrast. Let me copy this color link, this color code rather. Let me just copy, let me just Control C, or let me copy color. All right. Okay, I've copied the X. Now, let's test it for ourselves and see if what was said is actually very, very true. Okay. Now, I believe you can see my screen now. Okay. All right. So let me use that exact same color. Let's take, for instance, you just hold on. Stay with me. Okay, so this is what we are dealing with now. Okay, yeah, this is the color. Let me try and expand the rectangle. So some of you just go on, and because of what is in your head, you add a white text or something, and before you know it, people are telling you that, "Ah, please, we cannot see what you have written there." Okay, now colors.com tells us that if we use a white text, we are going to have a bad contrast. Let me just pick a white color as a text now. Let me just pick a white color and drag it. Then you judge for yourself. Now, can we all see this? Can we all see this white text? Okay. Okay. Now, which do you think has a very good contrast? What do you think people are actually going to see? You know, our judgment now is based on um good and bad contrast. Okay, good and bad contrast. Let me hear from the comment section. Which would you actually prefer? Is it the white text or the black text? Are we together? Are we together? The black text. You know, some people can actually use white. I'm like, okay, yeah, this looks very good. Meanwhile, it's a very poor contrast in design. Especially if you are doing a poster design, is not very good contrast. Okay, and there are forms of black text. You don't actually have to pick the exact same black. Let me pick this color, but let me pick the shade of the color. Okay, something like this. This is also telling us that it has a good contrast. Okay, and if I also where is that white text? Pick this white color now, and let me pick a lighter version of it. Yeah, something more lighter, or something like this. You see that it's giving us moving forward. It's giving us a very poor contrast, which is very bad. So as designers, I want us to take note of this very, very, very well, very well, very well, very well. It's very, very important. Okay, so let's continue. So one thing you should take note is that and I want that to sound from this meeting is that whenever you are designing or whenever you are picking colors, make sure you have the mindset of picking a white colored maybe a white colored text on a dark background. Okay, one very subtle color is yellow, and most times you see people putting white on yellow and it doesn't really make good contrast. Okay, now don't get me wrong, it's not as if it won't give you any contrast. It will. There is actually a means by which um you can check contrast. I think this is one of the pro feature. Yeah, there's actually a means where you can check contrast. I don't think it's on this website, but any contrast that does not give you 4.5 is no contrast. Contrast starts very well above 4.5. Above 4.5. That's the rule in design. Okay. So let's just continue. So you can build color palette from color.adobe.com and colors.co. Okay. Now we have case studies which I want us to take note very, very well. From what I've just explained now, I've cited just 3 examples here: the complementary, the analogous, and the triadic. All right. So I got this from their IG page. Don't know if you can see my screen. Okay, yes, you can. From the IG page, PalmPay. Many of you use PalmPay. For those of you that are customers, and I stated the other time that PalmPay uses purple, talking about luxury and royalty. Okay, if you have a chance, if you can search online and check their vision and mission statements, you might find something relating to luxury and royalty in some of their statements. Okay, So it's very, very, very important. Now, look at the colors used here. We have a purple color, and yellow color is used in this send money in seconds when you use PalmPay. And I told you the other time that complementary colors. Let's just go back to this color wheel over here. Okay. Now let's search for complementary, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And let's come to a kind of a purple color. Is this purple? It should be giving us something that is relating to purple. So can you see now that purple is pointing to yellow? Please, if you are following, just let me know. Purple is pointing to yellow, telling you that purple and yellow have good contrast and they can be used together. Okay? All right. So that's that about that. Purple and yellow have good contrast and they can be used together. And that's what the designer used here. Okay? So the next one is analogous, colors that are next to each other. And one thing about the colors and this website I told you about, Adobe Color, you can actually, let me see, you can extract a theme here in this extract theme section. You can drop a file or drag a file here now, and to show you the colors that are used on the file. Let's take a look at that. So you, and in your free time, just go on to explore this aspect of colors. Okay, so let me come to Lipton now. This is used by Lipton, and you see automatically it generates for me every color, at least the main 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are used in this design. Okay, and it will spot them for you. This 1, this 2, this 3, this 4, this 5. This analogous 3 colors. I mean, these are analogous colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, rather. Okay, now let's go back and check the color wheel. Let's go back and check the color wheel. How do I even do it now? Okay, so in this extract theme section, let me copy one of the color code. All right, and let's go back to the color wheel and in fact, this is what we are also having here. Oh, I think it also replicates it exactly. Wow, this is perfect. It has already replicated it here for us. Now you see these 3 colors here. You see how they are next to each other in the color wheel now, giving us this 4 and 5. So this is just like a tint or shade of these guys here. All right, and speaking of green, so this, like these 4 colors, they are next to each other in the color wheel. And also you can use that to spice up your gradients. I wish there is time, would have just covered the gradient, so you know how gradient actually works. All right, that you see some parts darker, you see some parts blending very, very well. You can get gradient from your color wheel and do that. So that's analogous. And triadic, the triadic aspect, one important tech that we know that does that is Google. Okay, we say Google, right? And yeah, it's giving us 2 colors for blue, 2 colors for red, 1 color for yellow, 1 color for green. All right, and if we look at everything, that's 1, 2, 3, and we have 4 colors. I thought triadic is about 3 colors. Yes, that's spaced enough. Okay, now in Google now is also a close example of giving us 4 colors that are carefully spaced together on the color wheel. Okay, let's rush now. We are moving faster. Okay, now I have a question. So identifying this now, I have a question in the next slide, and I want us to respond in this chat box. Now we can see this from Coca-Cola. This is actually in their Instagram page. I saw this, I was inspired by this, and I like to ask us, which color harmony do you think this is? Yeah, so the colors you can identify here. Let me see if I can help you out. But I want us to just see it, in fact, immediately without. Okay, so let me just help here. But I won't show you now. You can see the colors here. Please forget about this blue. This blue is picking the colors from this. Forget about the blue. Just focus on these colors here. All right. So from what you can see now, what kind of color contrast and what kind of color scheme is this? What color harmony was used? Yes, yes. I want our response. I want to be sure we are learning. What color harmony was used here? Oh, we have like 7 people on the call. What color harmony was used? Maybe Eniola, Pulimelani, or Idris Binga, Rumavelos, AMA Graphics. So what color harmony was used here? Are we together? I want us to respond. Mono. Okay. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Okay. If there's nobody, we are speeding up already. Okay. All right. So from what I can see, you can be right with mono. Mono was actually used. Monochromatic was actually used here in this design. And the caption they used for this design was creating everyday smile with you with Coke or something. You can see their design creativity here, giving us bubbles that has to do with smile and joy. So this alone, oh please, they reach out to you. Please help us design something that can resonate with the audience. Then some of you are gonna be packing green colors, blue on top of red. I mean, it doesn't kind of make sense, especially when you understand the brand color and all of that. Okay, so I think you are right with that with mono. All right, so let's just take a recap of what we have learned. That color affects your mood and decision taking. Okay. Um, I failed to mention. I said the masculinity most times tends to blue and sometimes green. All right, and for ladies now, they most times tend to something that has to do with purple, pink, something of the feminine nature, peach, all those calm and cool colors in some aspects, right? So you can be design, you can be asked now, okay, please make a design for us on Mother's Day. They're not giving you any brand color, they're not giving you anything, or International Women's Day now. You will see designs reflecting on purple, pink, something that has to do with the feminine, because you understand the perception, all right? So you can take decision that okay, I think this should be able to work best, unless otherwise. All right, they say if you make decision in that moment when some people somebody go and carry blue and submit it that blue is your design. You are making a mistake. So from the psychology of color, you can choose colors intentionally. I've said that. Then always consider context, the audience, and the accessibility. All right. Context, what is your design speaking about? What is it used for? The audience now, who are those you are designing for? And how easy for it to be accessed, maybe from a stranger's perspective. Okay. Sometimes you look at some signposts or some signboard, you are not even moved. You are not care what they even write there. That's color giving a very decision. Yes, I understand the creativity of the designer can be very important, but color also plays a major role. Okay, so it's time to ask your questions. Let me know if you have any questions for me before we call it a wrap. I believe you have learned quite a number of things here. So let me know if you have a question for me this evening. AMA graphics, for those that are still with us to the end, are marvelous, Polymer Neo, Delebenga, Repi, and Yola. So let me know if you have a question. You can just raise up your hand and I'll permit you to speak. So let me know if you have questions for me and before we wrap it up. So do we have questions? Do we have questions? Oh, monochromatic. Wow, okay, I'm just seeing that now. All right, thank you. So do we have questions? Do we? I expect us to ask questions, particularly some of us that are designers over here. And you can have some difficulty. Oh, where do I even start with when I'm giving a design brief? What color am I expected to use? What am I expected to do? Okay, you can be very stuck when you don't know which color to use, or you have designed and submitted. And say my wife does not like the color. What do you do in that instance? Okay, and you don't have strength to start convincing people. Oh, that what is asking people about questions on color will solve your problem as a designer and will give you more time to do other things. Asking people about color. Okay, this is it. What would you like to do? What color do you prefer? Then you can ask the person why. Why is the person making that decision of picking this kind of color? Then once you see that okay, maybe it might not stand out very well for the brand, you can bring in your suggestion. Some of you just be told, oh, please, I want the colors to be red and this and I've seen some terrible words before, and somebody say, please, can you put like red somewhere to make it look like fire? Can you put like green in between those red? And you as a designer, you go ahead and do it. You don't even ask questions. You won't tell them, oh, sir, this cannot go in this direction. It will actually spoil this design and people will not resonate with. Okay, so do we have questions? I'm waiting for us in 2 minutes if we have no question before we eventually call a wrap. Okay, let me go on to the next slide. um all right, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, Sam underscore Adiaye on LinkedIn and Sam Adiaye on Instagram. I'm active on both. So you can connect with me on Twitter too, but I'm very active on Instagram. Sam underscore Adiaye and Sam Adiaye on LinkedIn. So I believe we have gained one or two this evening. And I'd like to say a thumbs up. Oh, thank you so much, Ema Graphics. And I don't know if we can just quickly do a very quick, if we are not in a hurry, since we are not even much here, I love to do this. We can just reflect on one part of the color wheel and we use it to make gradients. Is that cool by everyone? It depends on our response. If we are not okay, yes, sir. Okay, so somebody has obliged to do that. Let me just a moment. Um, okay, I think you can see my screen now. All right, so let's just let me make a new file and let's just go on to the gradient aspect. Okay, okay, I'm coming. Let me just do this practically by taking the color wheel inside a design software. Okay, it doesn't matter what design software you're using. So let's just practically use this color wheel. Okay, so just follow up. I'm making a gradient. And if you can see me the screen very well. So let's start with analogous colors that are next to each other. All right, on the color wheel. They are very good to make it. Let's go with this orange vibe. Okay, this can you see it very well? Okay, all right. So let's go with this orange section. Can you see my gradient editor? I'm not sure it's displaying. I don't think you are able to see that. Yes, can you see that? Mr. Palumi, can you see my gradient editor? Oh, okay. I don't, for sure it's not allowing you guys to see it. Okay. I'll pick out the colors and I'll show you again. That's what I will do. Okay. You just follow on why. Oh, who wants to join the color now? Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, welcome back, Mr. Aro. So we just want to generate very quick gradient. Okay, I'll turn it. Right. Just a moment. Okay. Okay. And for me, just hold on. So while I explain, um, I want to pick out the colors, change carefully, so you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Um, sorry. Okay. All right. So I want you to say this. I picked these three colors. These three colors here. this particular three that's next to each other in the color wheel. So I pick an orange, then a shade of red and red itself. And looking at it from bottom to top, I was able to generate this just from the color wheel alone. Okay. Now, how much more if we now go ahead and say we want to use um when the color wheel itself is having just its own form of color, all right? So you can also go ahead to the the ones we mentioned the other time. Okay. Sorry, I'm coming. Okay, so we can go back to colors.co or Adobe Color. Yeah, go as a color wheel over here. In fact, we can extract gradients or pick out, if this is even one of the good examples, or pick out gradient from here. When we just have a single color, now you can see gradient color stops, and you can as well just check and explore this Adobe Color itself, right? See gradients ranging from the dark version to the lighter version, which can, in fact, this them giving you this exactly same will actually spice up your design. Okay, if we use this to make a design now, 2E106 EP EF586B E11C26, can just these three can spice up and make your designs lively because you understand colors. All right. So with this now, we'll be stopping here tonight, and I hope we have learned one or two already. I hope it's worth the time tonight. So thank you all. Okay, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being my guest to show, and thank you for waiting up to this time. I mean, a lot of people have vanished. Thank you so much. All right, so let's sign off as we sign in the other time with music. Okay. So colors is everyday thing. Just make sure nature is your good goal for colors. Nature. But you might not know what to do or to know which colors to pick. If you have a place by that has nature, just go and check. That's just the trick. If you have a nearby river, stay at the waters. If you have a garden, a place that has trees, grasses, flowers, just take a look at it. See how they are arranged. See how they are unique in their perspective, all right? And you can develop some inspiration from that and be good to go with colors. Thank you so much for your time. We'll be signing up in about 2 minutes. Jesus, my friend, your love still the answer. Oh, I'm ready, follow you.
Anywhere to be a lot for oh, you got me, Rossetti.